Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Unscripted podcast. It's been a little while. It's been only a week. I'm sure you all have been craving another episode on the edge of your seats. We're back from spring break. As you can tell, we have new equipment, a new microphone. That's why my voice sounds even better. Yeah, so you went away. You actually had something cool to look forward to over spring break.
Well, I wouldn't say it was cool. It was very last minute. Me and my family went to Mexico, but not any of the main spring break spots. We went to Puerto Vallarta. I don't know if you know of it. Or
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mexico.
I mean,
it's one of the spots, yeah.
Yeah, you go to Mexico, you're somewhere in Mexico.
Right, but even Mexico is not even a big thing anymore. It's Fort Lauderdale.
Well, I think for families that have the means to go, Mexico's more expensive, but it's also better than, like, let's be honest, Fort Lauderdale is if you can afford to go somewhere better, you will.
Right, but then that's the difference if you're going with your family rather than friends and spring break.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with friends to Mexico. It's too much.
Oh, money-wise.
Well, I mean, it's probably not that big of a difference, but you know what? I'll take that back. I would go to Mexico.
It would be a good time, yeah. But it's the money thing.
Yeah, it's more money.
Yeah, you have to plan that out at least now, and then we'll go, like, senior year.
Well, that's a little too much, but I don't think you need to plan. Well, for money's sake, yeah.
Look, I'll name Michael.
Yeah.
He spent, I think he said 15 grand. Oh, sorry, not 1,500.
That checks out, though. Plane fare.
I mean, but we're college students. 1,500. I mean, for a week.
Yeah, I mean, we make all the money from the podcast,
right,
so we're not typical college students.
No.
But yeah, no, spring break, it's expensive. But I didn't even thought about it. Like, it's not that I didn't, like, I'm surprised no one in our group was like, hey, maybe, or even floated it.
I mean, I don't really think it's a freshman year kind of thing. We're a close group, but to plan that out, we can barely plan a dinner together.
Yeah.
A trip I think we would have lost so much money somehow.
Yeah.
Or it would have been way too chaotic. And also, it was just last minute. We're not responsible enough.
We're also all not 21.
Oh, yeah.
So,
no, but if you go to Mexico, 18's the age.
Yeah, but say we went to a Florida city.
It would have been Florida, too. Because that would have been cheaper. Would you ever do that? Does that entice you at all? Or?
Florida?
Just the spring break scene, not necessarily with your family, just
definitely not with my family.
Yeah,
and
right.
We'll get into your story with that. Yeah. But I would absolutely. Well, no, I love going on vacations with my family.
And I don't want to.
No, and I shouldn't have said it like that. But if we're going to a resort where it's all spring breakers, I don't want to be with my family.
Right, because there's an age difference, and you're not as comfortable. There's a lot of mixed emotions going on. You're surrounded by all this energy and people your age, and then you got to go to family dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like when you're out shopping with your mom and you see a girl and it's embarrassing.
It's
whatever.
really and for me at least, it's really hard to then focus on one or the other.
Yeah. You feel like at dinner you're checking girls out when your mom's talking to you. It's weird. Like we stayed speaking of Florida, we went to Miami. I was like 10, my brother was 16. We went there. We stayed at the Fontainebleau, and it was a huge clubbing scene, and it was spring break too. And I was the only person probably under 21 at that hotel. And the pools and everything. And I was too young to really pay attention, but it was just all girls in G-string thongs, DJs, people getting drunk at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never went to a place with like a club scene, but it was always heavy on the pools. There was a ton of people there. Yeah. It was, I mean, because it's day drinking. That's all vacation, I feel like, because you wake up, you get breakfast, and then you're back at it.
See, I don't understand that. Like, how do you get... Because people get hammered, and then the next morning they wake up at 9, pound some eggs, and do it again. I couldn't do that.
It's a vacation mindset. You're a different person when you're away. We were talking about this. I just don't, like, my health feels different, and not necessarily better, but just completely different, and it just, everything else just goes out the window. There's no thoughts up here. Like, I cannot read a book. And then I see
like
people,
everyone in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But so my idea of a vacation is definitely that. I guess it all comes down to who you go with.
Yeah.
If I were with my family in your situation, yeah, I'd be having some drinks during the day, but I'd be relaxing.
Right. And I, early on, I had to then make that kind of switch in my head. And I did focus on the relaxing, and it was good. But I still drank a decent amount.
Yeah.
And it's not the same, because, like, here I wouldn't worry what you guys think of me, because I'm not going to be drinking any more than the person next to me, really.
Yeah.
Given
there's no judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm like with my mom, I'm not going to be 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like I can't be doing that. Yeah. So back to the spring break, Fort Lauderdale, the whole scene, just separating from family and all that, just the classic college spring break. Does that attract you?
I think it's a lot like the Boston St. Patrick's Day parade. Okay. And I know you haven't been, but you probably understand from hearing about it. Yeah, I mean,
St. Patrick's Day is just a drinking day.
Yeah, it's just drinking all day, drinking early, thousands of people your age acting out. The only difference of it
not
being...
Not even just your age, though. I feel like there's just everyone's there.
It's mostly, like... age from the latter half of high school to the end of your 20s.
All right.
So the only difference between St. Patrick's Day parade in Boston and spring break is one's on the beach and one's in 45-degree weather in South Boston.
Right, right.
So I'd do it once, and that would be it.
Okay.
Same with St. Patrick's Day parade. I actually did it twice, but that's it.
Right. I feel like also holidays now have just become an excuse to drink, like Halloween, New Year's, all of them. I mean,
well, it's not now; it's because we're old enough to see that.
Yeah, that's very true. And then even Easter, I hear people.
Yeah. Oh,
I've never drank on Easter.
Yeah. Easter has been notably some of the best times of my life, or the night before Easter.
What is it about Easter that says pound a few too many?
Because he is risen.
He is risen.
He is risen. We have to drink in his name. But I don't know. We just do it in a party way. I'm sure some families, because that's the end of Lent too. So I'm sure some families are like, maybe turning up a little more. We don't do Lent. Right. I'm not religious. You've heard that a couple times. Yeah. But it's just an excuse to see family. Right. And friends and have a good time. We need more days like that in life. Right.
No. I agree. Because that going back to the vacation mindset, you allow yourself. You don't have to worry about anything else. You can. It's not even you don't have to convince yourself to relax. It's just it's like the place does it for you.
Yeah. I mean, pool, nice weather.
Yeah.
The vibes, there's nothing like a nice tropical vacation.
Right. But then spring break, college style, that seems like work to me.
Yeah. I think after 2 or 3 days, I would be tapped out.
Yeah. That's our first week at Maris times 10.
I'd say more than that. Because at least here, like, it was only at night. You could kind of get a break from it a little bit.
But then, do you think that vacation mindset would kind of set in and just you're there, might as well just do it. Say fuck it and keep going.
Probably.
Right.
I mean,
and it's new people, new faces change everything. I think that was half of vacation for me, at least. Seeing new faces, it was exciting, I guess. Yeah. I mean, like, it was just new, and it was better than what I've seen here. But
better faces.
I guess maybe that's the alcohol talking.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's something about going away on vacation, and we were talking about this. You feel like you said you were excited to come back. My vacation did not feel that way whatsoever. But like when you're away in a new place, you almost feel reborn, and it's like when you return back to that other place, you're gonna like bring this new formed personality with you.
Right.
It's like when you see like the Batman and make it your whole personality leaving the theater.
Yeah. That's very accurate. No, yeah, that's exactly why I was excited to come back. It felt like visibly there was a difference because of the tan and all of that, and then mentally I'm just so relaxed and I was so just calm and ready to be sociable when I came back.
That's great.
Yeah,
I applaud you for that.
Yeah, I mean, but the worst part is I know it's not going to last.
Yeah.
Past this week, perhaps. So at the same time, it feels like I have to shove all this newness in a weekend or the week.
Yeah. What about like? Because when we went to Boston, coming back, we were talking the whole way about post-trip depression. Did you not have that at all?
Oh, 100%. But there's a difference there. When you're going on a vacation flight to go solely to relax and have a good time, not to say that the Boston trip wasn't meant to go have a good time. It was, I don't even know what's the difference between that, but...
Sounds like maybe you had more fun in Boston.
I mean, I don't... Yeah, maybe...
No, I'm not.
I don't know. Yeah, like, I have no answer to that, really.
Or maybe you're just doing better upstairs.
Upstairs.
Maybe you're doing better. Maybe that's just what it is.
Yeah, there was definitely... Going to Boston, that felt more... Okay, so there's... The main difference is I went with my family... Coming back to my friends, which is a chance to then, in a way, show off a new self. We went away to Boston with friends, had a good time with my friends, coming back just to a different setting, same people.
I get that. That's really accurate.
I think that might be what it is. I had such a good time at Boston with you guys, then coming back with you guys.
It's enough for these guys.
No, not that. We're the same people, but we're in a worse setting.
Yeah, right.
That sucks.
Yeah, no,
I was
horrible.
with different people in a great setting, had a great mindset there. Coming back with that same mindset, different setting, different people.
Worse place.
With a new experience, applying it to that old experience, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it.
It's a way to look at it. I wouldn't say that's a good way.
Well, it's better than being like, fuck, I wish I still was in Mexico. I mean, I wish I was still back on my Wednesday of Thursday when I had a doctor's appointment.
Right. Yeah, and it's not even, I would say, there's a little fuck, I wish I was still in Mexico, but more so, fuck, I wish I was still in that state of mind.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had a math teacher senior year who went on a trip, spring break trip, when he was a teacher. He taught at a private school, and all the teachers went down to, maybe it was Mexico, somewhere tropical. And he was, no shoes, on the beach, drinking, swimming all day. And he was like, how can I bring this energy back to school?
That was exactly what I was thinking the whole time.
And he found a solution.
Okay.
It was the whole time he was barefoot. So at school, he started being barefoot.
Yeah.
He would teach our math lessons barefoot.
Yeah.
This is a man teaching in a public
I had an
school.
anatomy teacher. He would wear these toe shoes.
No. He not a single thing. The guy was barefoot.
I get it, though.
Yeah.
It's grounding.
It is.
And that just sparked maybe the whole thing of vacation, you're just in such a meditative state for a week or however long you're staying. And then, look, if you meditate for 5 minutes, you feel amazing after that. I don't know if you feel different after.
If you
feel new.
That,
it's not necessarily better, but it's a new feeling after the meditative state. Now you're in that for a week, and I would say walking on the beach barefoot, I even said this to my family, it was like, it's grounding. It's a form of meditation. Yeah. I never thought of it, maybe that's the reason why I feel good. Because I've even coming back, I've tried to apply some of the lifestyle things that I was just doing there.
Is that why you're wearing slides right now?
No, I'm just wearing slides so I don't have just feet out. But
yeah,
like the counting calories, I was super into that before going on vacation, tracking every little thing.
Yeah.
And I just mentally it hurt me. I don't know, physically I don't know, whatever. But coming back, I've not counted a single thing, and I've thought about it, but then I do my best to shoo it away, and I feel better.
Yeah.
And it's just that carrying those things over, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, learning something new about how to be in that good state of mind. Yeah, I'm all for it, really.
Yeah.
I always struggle with the post-trip, like coming back, no matter where I was, no matter where I'm coming back to, it's brutal.
Right. I've always struggled with that too, but this was the first time that I've come from vacation, not going back to high school, but I'm going back to college.
Yeah.
A different setting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And it was completely different than if, all right, I know I'm going back to the same high school, the same place that I've never come back and lived by myself.
Yeah.
To then apply what I had
to a new setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Look at us with all of our struggles. How do we adapt coming back from vacation in Mexico?
I don't know how we do it, but one way or another, we talk about mental health.
Yeah.
We gotta
yeah.
work away. All right, let's go into the fun part of spring break.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about Fort Lauderdale.
Uh-huh.
Or different places, I don't know exactly.
Panama City.
On
Miami,
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah.
If your significant other, I don't have a girlfriend. But if they go away to like a certain place that's exciting spring break wise, what does that mean for your relationship?
I think the people who are concerned about it are fucking idiots. Like I was telling you about the TikTok.
Right.
It's like 5 guys by the pool, and I think they're doing backflips or something.
Right.
And they're all meatheads, and they're like, bro, if you let your girl come to spring break this year in Miami, you're cooked, bro. Like,
cooked.
And it's like, yeah, these dudes are threats because they're probably roofing the drinks. It's not because they have Riz. Like, yeah, I'd be a little concerned for her safety, but if I have trust in the girl, then I wouldn't worry.
And that's the main thing, just
having
trust. If you don't have trust in the person, you shouldn't be with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then again, like, why would you not go on the trip with her?
I mean, I think that's a healthy way to look at it for your point of view, but then I feel the people that are worried, they're focused too much on the physicality of their relationship. Like if... Let's say, I'm not saying... all right, so if a girl or guy, the other half of the relationship went away, you're worried that they'll find someone else attractive. Not necessarily you're worried that they'll mesh personality-wise.
I think that's the myth that people in relationships don't find other people attractive. I don't buy that.
Exactly.
I think people in relationships at Marist are seeing people on a daily basis that they find attractive.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But then it's the connection that you have that brings you back.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, some people can't get past. I don't think I could get past that.
Get past...
Because I think mainly I focus on when it comes to someone else looking at me, I need to look attractive, not be attractive internally. If that, like personality-wise. And that's a horrible way to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've never had to deal with that. I'm just such a good-looking guy that I don't have to worry about being internally attractive.
Right. There was something that you said to me. I can't remember exactly, but you were like... something about the same situation, kind of like if someone's looking at another guy. No, I have trust in myself that I present myself as the smartest guy in the room, or if not,
I remember that.
Yeah,
that
it was something like that.
Yeah. Like, there's more to me than just how I look. There's some guys that's what they focus on. Right. They're in the gym, that's their personality. They're going to get girls because they're jacked. But, guy, let's face it, you're just boring.
Right, yeah.
Like, you're ordinary as fuck. And just because you're ripped and have some American flag tattoo doesn't mean you're hot shit.
Yeah, that's a short-term thing. Yeah. You're never going to get the long-term out of that.
Yeah.
And which was, like, that's the best way to look at it for you, I mean, and for everyone.
Yeah.
It's have faith in yourself.
What's on the inside counts.
Yeah. No, but, jokingly, but at the same time, it's true.
It is.
Because if your goal is to find a longer, healthier relationship, you need to have some meat to your personality.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think the spark is in, like, the thing that gets you to notice someone is they're attractive, like, physically. Yeah. Like, they fit your type or whatever. But once you get to know them, there's plenty of very gorgeous women that I've been like, yeah, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you're ordinary.
But at the same time, I think there's a part where you feel confident internally, and that turns into a physical thing too. Because you walk around with confidence.
Oh, 100%.
And you'll appear different to other people. I don't know what it is, but there's certain times where I'm just happier. I'm lighter, and yeah, I'll notice people are more approachable to me. It's not necessarily just girls. It's just like in a friendly aspect.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I'm not really worried about what other people are thinking of me at that time, and then people will talk to me.
Yeah, energy is super perceptive. Yeah. Definitely.
But it's super hard to replicate every day.
Well, I think that comes down to just your general control over yourself.
Right.
But then if you're doing it just so you can be perceived that way, then that's going to eat you alive even more.
Yeah, do you think you've always been at that point where you're focused on your personality more, or do you think it's something that's happened to you over time?
Like, focused on how I'm perceived or how I am, like, internally?
Internally. Like, where you do you prioritize how you are internally over physically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so. But they kind of go hand in hand.
Right, yeah. But do you think that was always your thought process? Or?
No.
Okay.
No, for a while it was on looks.
Right. Do you know what changed that?
Physique. Like, you were talking about calories. I used to weigh out every single gram of food.
Right.
Back when I was in better shape. But there was a cost to that.
Right.
Because then it was like a binge eating disorder. And then, restriction. And then whatever. And then I got out of shape for a while. I mean, it's always... But now I'm in a good place. I don't track calories at all. I don't... I do cardio 5-6 days a week, play active.
An active lifestyle is a happy lifestyle.
But I don't lift really anymore.
Okay, I mean, and it's whatever works.
That's worked for me more mentally, because I was when I'm lifting, it's all about what I'm seeing in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And then when I stop lifting but stay active and stay healthy physically, that works better for me mentally.
Yeah, fair. But, like, specifically on that transition from counting calories and focusing on the physical appearance to focusing on the mental side of it, can you link that back to a specific moment, or like just part of growing up, or what would you say?
The mental side being like the downside?
Personality. Like, no, your personality, like switching from the focus on the external to the internal.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I would say it was over quarantine.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, at least, it was the opposite. I was very outgoing prior to quarantine. Never second guessed myself in a conversation or whatever. But then over quarantine, I was solely focused on the external, because I was a fat kid going into quarantine.
As was I. Yeah.
And I thought, maybe... I don't know exactly what it was. I should talk to my therapist about it, but but it's just interesting that there was two different sides of that.
Yeah. No, I think I misinterpreted your question there. I guess the same. It's really when puberty is when that personality shift happens, but then you kind of lose, or I lost touch with it for a while, and now I feel like I'm really honing in. Especially this year has been huge for me. I'm back to who I was as a middle schooler, I think. And that sounds stupid to say. I'm not like immature in that sense, but I'm back to where I want to be,
right,
personality wise, and what I'm really interested in doing.
I'm gonna disagree with you there, because obviously I don't know what's going on in your own head, but I don't think you're never going back. It's just a new form of you. And I'm sure if you really look at it deeply, there's a complete difference. But maybe you relate that point in middle school to happiness, and you're happy now.
I wouldn't say that.
Or you're content, or wherever you're at mentally that makes you relate it. It's just the same feelings, but it's just a different state that brought you there.
No, I'm talking about like me being like in my truest sense creatively.
Okay.
Like doing in middle school, I was a YouTuber and making films all the time. And then in high school, it was more about sports and stuff, and then running my landscaping thing. And now I'm back to, I mean, look, we started a podcast.
Right, yeah.
Done a film this year. I'm back releasing music. Like it's back
Bryson Mustard Music. Give it a follow.
But it's like back to that like true like where I was when I didn't care about, because middle school you don't care really. Maybe towards the end of it you do, but you're still more of your true genuine self. Right. Because all the social expectations and caring what your peers think of you, that comes more prevalent, I think, towards the end of 8th grade and then really into high school.
Yeah, I've always thought that I wanted to go back to that 5-year-old self where it's just the youthfulness where I don't care. And that's the main thing, just not caring.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm at with that mindset now. It's just that I realize I can never fall back on that. And I hate the idea of falling back now. But if you're going to fall forward and then take those experiences with you.
Yeah.
Not that like just completely off the point from what you were saying, but I guess the same feelings that I had prior, I want to bring that back with me. But at the same time, it's not like I'm going to throw away the experiences that I've had recently.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not saying experiences.
No, that's completely different from what you were saying, because I get what you were focused on the creative side there, and now you're back to that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I get it. Yeah, I mean everyone's trajectory is different when it comes, like the way you view stuff. You're, I think, from what I've gathered, very experience based in who you are at a specific time as a product of those experiences that were happening then.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's different for every person, and what their idea of going backwards, so to speak, is, or going forward.
Also, I think what I say is different than what I present in day-to-day life. Like it's nice to say all these ideals and what I strive to be, what I strive to think like. But then that's why I can never judge myself. I wish someone would just tell me how I'm acting in the moment, at the moment.
Yeah.
So I know how I'm being perceived and then make the changes.
Well, that's what you got to learn to do for yourself. You got to be that person that's going to tell you too.
Right, but can you be the proper judge of yourself? Do you know truly, like...
I think you can if you're in touch with yourself enough. You can sort of start to...
And I think that's different for every person, because if you're not in touch, saying you're either going to be super positive towards yourself to a fault, or I think you're going to be super negative. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I think luckily almost that I fall into the negative, because I'd rather be in my own self-doubt than be cocky and then hurt others or just be annoying to others.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm not annoying to others now, but just...
But you don't have a cockiness.
Yeah, and it's just... That's... But at the same time, I constantly think in conversations when I'm talking, I'm being cocky. And then I'll be like, you're being such a dick. Humble yourself.
Humble yourself, Vivek.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think since baseball, like if I got a good hit, a little clap, and I would be like, "What the fuck did you just do?" I swear to God, that was like my whole thing.
Like for yourself, you mean?
Yeah, like if I one time I hit a walk-off home run.
Okay.
That's cocky. That's one. Yeah. But and then I did like, sorry, hold on. As I was running the bases.
Yeah.
And that was all I was thinking about after. I was like, what the hell was that?
Well, when you're on the field, it's totally different. I think the cockiness has to be brought up a little bit as an athlete. Everyone's fucking cocky.
But it was just immediately after. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I
thought that's what everyone was just thinking about. Oh, he's such a dick for clapping.
I think you think people think too much about you.
Right. No, yeah. And then that's also another thing. I'm like, oh, then I'm fucking sadistic to think that my thoughts of me being cocky are worth anyone else's time.
Yeah, people have their own shit to worry about.
So there's no fucking winning in that.
No, there really is none. That's what I felt recently with the music stuff. Like, I was thinking so much, like, this is going to get clowned on, or people are going to say shit, or people are going to be, like, having all their thoughts. And I posted 3 snippets from the song, started the page. The most viewed one is like 466 views, which I consider low for something like that. And it's like, in the end, so far, people don't even give a shit, like, to give it the time of day that I was expecting.
Right.
So really, that in a nutshell, this little experience that I've had so far shows people don't really think about me as much as I thought that did, in a good way. I'm not saying people are always like, oh, that Bryson Mustard, what an awesome guy. I was expecting a lot of hate, to be honest. But I haven't received that so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the song hasn't even dropped yet. But still. Because remember, we had talked about this. And I was
you were very nervous about it.
Yeah.
I think... I also don't think people are going to say it ever. Because it takes a lot of courage to post something like that.
It does, but it doesn't take a lot of courage to write hate comments.
That's true.
I'll tell you that.
But I feel like, not to say that people are hating on it at all, just it's now so privatized. They'll say it behind your back, but never to your face. I'd rather have it in front of me.
Yeah. What's the, I think I heard.
I'd rather know the devil that I don't know.
Say what your one was.
It was something, I'd rather know the devil that I see rather than the one that, I don't know, behind me or something. It's basically saying that you'd rather know the evil in front of you, have the evil in front of you than behind you or something. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Mine was Tom Holland was quoting it. He was like, if you want to talk shit about me or you have a problem with something I'm doing, then text me. And if you don't even have my number, then you're not even to the point where you can be talking shit about me.
Right.
Which is very true, because I bet people who would have negative things to say, or even about this podcast, text me. Text me your feedback. Oh, you don't have my number? We're not close enough then. I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
That's great, yeah. And going to your music, has your mindset on that changed? Have you become more comfortable with it? Or
it's slowly but surely. Like, even today I posted a clip before we went to class, and like walking to class, I was like, who saw this?
Yeah.
Like, because it is, people, when someone, a newcomer to music especially, but even anything in like the arts, or even us with the podcast, it's like, at first people love to beat it down when it's low, or they'll make assumptions. But then if it is good or it gets some success, then it's like they love to be your number one supporter.
Right. And even on a smaller scale, if I post something on Instagram, or I'll go on Do Not Disturb, because I know every second I'm going to be how many people like this, and it's so it's narcissism. It's like
it is. It's a dopamine rush every time. Yeah,
and I hate that, but
it's what's been instilled in us.
So going off that, would you say you're doing the music now is it for others, or would you say it's for yourself? Or because it's fine to do both. Yeah.
So my rationale for it, there's a couple different reasons. One, I guess the main reason is that I want to be in the creative field somewhere.
Right.
Whether it's in music, film, whatever it is. I want to create stuff. And as an artist, you cannot fear what other people think of you.
That's
so
true.
The main reason of this is an experiment. Just
Learning
another way to put myself out there and to start to care less and less about what people think, similar to this podcast.
Right.
Number two is I've been making music for so long, and I love like making a new song that I really like and showing my friends. But my friends aren't there to be my fans or whatever.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I want other people to be able to hear it.
Yeah, because there's a difference between your mom saying, "Oh, honey, you did great," and then someone you've never seen before, "That was a great job."
Exactly. And it's not even about like necessarily that's a great job. It's more about
feedback in general. Yeah, I
just
get
people interacting with it. And also it's annoying to friends because it's like, how many of these fucking songs are you going to play for us? Like, just put it out there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but even I would be wanting feedback just in general, good or bad.
Yeah, but
maybe it would hurt to hear something bad, but at the same time, at least you
might
thought of it. Yeah.
But the thing is, the constructive feedback or negative feedback that isn't praise on social media is going to be like a ridiculous hate comment. No one's saying like, "Hey, by the way, the snare drum could be tuned up, turned up like 2 dB louder and maybe fix the compression on the guitar track." Like, no one's giving you like actual advice. I have people I'll send a file to and be like, "Hey, hit me with your honest feedback."
Yeah, I saw someone a famous musician was following you or something.
Cam Meekins.
Okay, yeah.
So he's a rapper out of Boston. Do you know Cousin Stiz?
No.
Rapper out of Boston too. But he did pretty well. He was like, he opened for Logic a couple times. He grew up in like the Mac Miller era.
Okay.
The frat rap type of stuff. He actually has a podcast. Shout out Cam. But he was a student of my dad's at Wellesley High School.
Okay.
And this was probably like late, I'd say probably 2008, 2009. I could be wrong on this timeline. Maybe a little later. But he dropped a music video his senior year that blew the fuck up. And he got a record deal, dropped albums, went on tour, and he's pretty well off. He lives out in LA now. He has a podcast, occasionally dropping music. He has like an English muffin company too, which is like a random thing, but it's worked. Yeah.
I mean, Lady Gaga has Polaroid.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's like the last thing you'd expect.
What the fuck does Lady Gaga know about cameras?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, and Cam actually, my dad reached out to him for me. It was like, "Hey, my son," this was a couple of years ago. My son's been making music, and that was more when I was like really like doing rap music, and it was kind of corny shit.
Yeah.
And I sent him some stuff, and like, here's a guy who's going to, LA parties with huge stars, but he's taking the time of day to send this 16-year-old feedback on his shitty SoundCloud song.
Yeah.
So like, people like that is what keep other people going,
Right.
and I have mad respect for Cam Meekins.
Yeah. No, because it takes to have someone well off in their field give you the time of day. Because I think they understand what it's like to be at that age and at that point in your career where you're just trying to figure out what you're doing.
Exactly. Especially being from, 20 minutes apart in Massachusetts.
Yeah, and I would even say I have a ton of respect for your dad to reach out to someone who's well off in their field and ask for a favor.
Well, he was his teacher, so I think it's not like
no, but still, he's a professional. And I think that still takes courage in its own right.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, because that goes then to just asking for help in general.
Yeah, or if anything, it just shows how supportive he is. Yeah, at the end of the day. Yeah.
This is so off topic, but like fatherhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you, like, the whole mindset when you have a kid, that's so, like, that's far-fetched to me because everyone's talking about, like, you have a kid, and then everything changes, and that's your main priority. And I get it, but just it's a switch. It's something that automatically happens or doesn't. Maybe I don't know, but that's crazy. To them,
the switch of like just the feeling of when
that
you
person
see your kid,
is solely more important than anything else.
And it's real.
It is, yeah.
But it makes sense, really. It's how we're wired.
Right.
We have to protect that child.
Right. Do you think that happens in anything else? And I'm not even talking about people. I'm talking about like music, work. That thing is more important than myself. And what gives you that internal switch?
Well, it makes sense biologically for the kid.
Right.
Like there's definitely chemicals.
You
that
made that. You have to. Yeah. Right. But it's been known to happen in the like music and careers, and you would die for your career.
I get that 100%.
Right.
Like ultimate devotion. But again, I have never had a kid, so I can't compare the two. But I know just where I want to be in life. Yeah. That is the sole focus.
Yeah, and I'm super envious of that because just to know your end goal it's a huge advantage compared to other people because then you can start focusing on that and devoting yourself to that.
Yeah, well, it's multidimensional.
Right.
It's not one thing.
Right, but it's at least a field. I find myself, like, my mind is just stretched. It's business, it's creative, it's film, it's music, it's whatever it is. But it's just to then focus on even a field solely and not having to worry about anything else. It's different. It's you get into that flow state almost.
Well, I would say I wouldn't even have it down to a field. I guess you could under the umbrella of entertainment. So I guess that makes sense.
Would it not be film for you or
not necessarily?
Not current, yeah.
It's not currently. It's I would be just as happy working in the music industry as I would in the film industry or in the theater industry or television.
What do you think it is about that industry that attracts you so much?
Entertainment?
Yeah.
I think it's the way that I can... What other industry can you be that self-expressive in?
Right.
Like, I'll be able to... I think I can just totally be myself. Like, me in a business setting... Like I would be a toned down version of myself.
Yeah.
You can't say some things because that would screw up a deal, or you can't talk to your boss like that.
Right.
And obviously that's true in the entertainment industry. And then just also, the way it is. I don't know. It's
right.
I'm attracted to that lifestyle. No. And there's obviously very flawed things about it. But I'm a flawed person too, so
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
But I was in my econ class on Monday, and for the longest time, I always thought business, that's important. That means something, because I'm making money. And then I looked at it. Money? What is that really? Could we technically live without money? Yeah, we could. Maybe society wouldn't function. I get it. But let's say we're in a perfect utopian society. You don't need money because you would rely on others.
Yeah.
Creativity is something is completely itself on its own. Like, I put art, math, and science now in the same group.
Yeah.
And this is like a mindset of 2 days now. Because I always thought like my initial debate with going to the field of film and all of that, and I wish I came to this earlier because then I could have devoted myself to it, but it just doesn't have any economical importance. And that's not just monetary wise, it's just what is it doing for others other than entertainment? But that's doing something.
It is.
Right.
Or challenging.
Right.
I mean, entertainment is really a broad term. I think of it more like...
It's art.
Yeah, art can serve as entertainment, but there's also, challenging.
Right.
And supporting or whatever, obviously.
And very recent, I've looked, math and science, it's quite clear how it's advanced society. But then looking back onto Roman times and history itself, art movements have inspired change in society and have contributed to evolution. And that was my main argument with it, that creativity and art in itself didn't advance anything. And now I've realized, even with the recent stigma from TikTok being banned and all of that, but there's a growing idea that we have an urge for proper content, quality content, and that's to be inspired and move forward in our own lives.
Yeah, I wouldn't say TikTok content is not quality, though. I've seen a lot of great stuff on TikTok.
Sure, but that's such a small...
Yeah. Well, it all depends on what your algorithm is.
Right, yeah.
The vast majority of people are getting fed shit.
Yeah, but it changes with... Your algorithm changes with how you swipe. It's...
I'd say it's pretty true to who I am, though.
No, I'd agree, but there's certain sounds where there's attractive women on my screen, and I'll hang on there for two more seconds than maybe something with a motivational speech, and now my entire feed is women, and it's
I don't go on there to see like erotic stuff.
No, neither do I, but it's what's put in front of me.
But that's really, if you think of what blew TikTok up, it was Charli D'Amelio. Look back to late 2019, early 2020. It was this girl who, creepy enough, was a minor at the time. She was a sophomore in high school, year above us. And her older sister, who was a senior in high school. Look at these two, and it's not like they were like the most drop-dead gorgeous people you've ever seen, but something about them clicked, and they went on to blow up and grow TikTok. Yeah. I downloaded TikTok to see what this Charli D'Amelio shit was about.
Yeah. What do you think it is? Because you look at a lot of these celebrities, sure, they're attractive, good-looking people, but there's some of them that are just simply not, but they have a quality to them.
They have it. Some of them, not all of them. There's some people I ask, like, why are they famous? But
right. But, yeah, they're famous for a reason.
Well, the internet's also dumb. So some people, like...
I don't know. I think there's also an aura to them.
Some people, there's definitely. But there's a reason Nelk Boys have a podcast.
Yeah.
That gets millions and millions of views. Those people aren't, smart.
It's what they...
I will say
living
their
a fake life,
were
and
great,
to a lot of people, it's an ideal life.
That's what I'm saying. People are stupid in what they consume.
Yeah.
And that's why the obsession with celebrities, too. Mm-hmm. That's why celebrities exist. Because it's like an outlet.
I didn't realize how much my palate had changed for consuming media until on vacation on the plane. I was watching the most recent Mission Impossible movie. I'm like, what the hell is
sucks.
This? It's so bad.
Yeah.
Just it's forced, and to think that I would enjoy it or even just want to see that rather than something else, and then I watched Past Lives right after that. And I was like, this is life changing. That I could have lived without.
It's just, you gotta have movies for stupid people too. It's like,
it's not even for stupid people. It's just what's in front of them. People are not exposed.
It should be that way.
I don't think I don't want to say IQ, but intelligence is built in. I think you can expand to a point where,
course.
Yeah.
But some people don't want to expand. Yeah. Some people will openly shit talk A24 because they think it's elitist or smart people movies or don't put that gay shit on my TV.
No, because it's new ideas are scary to a lot of people. It's tradition. It's what you've been born into, and what you've been fed your entire life.
Yeah, that's true. I can't really talk. I mean, my dad was showing me The Godfather when I was 11.
That's why I consider us lucky.
Yeah,
we've been exposed to a lot more.
Yeah.
Given we could have turned out horribly compared to what we are now. Not to say that we're perfect, but
yeah,
we were given the freedom to find out who we are on our own.
Right. That comes with, that's a product of a perfect situation, really.
Sure, but that could have gone very negative because there's various criminals that have come out of a perfect situation too.
That's true. I would find it hard to believe for the way I was raised for me to end up being a criminal, though.
That's just because it hasn't happened to you.
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think it depends. I mean, that's the whole, psychological nature versus nurture argument.
Oh,
really, you have to. There's things from both sides that are an account, and there's reasons like the way I am that support one or the other. But I don't see a criminal history in my future, so to speak.
No one ever sees a criminal future in their history.
I think you'd know by 18.
I don't know.
Unless shit really hits the fan in the next 4 years.
But yeah, I mean, it could happen, though.
It's possible. I don't see that happening. No, it's crazy that you're trying to gaslight me into believing that. No, I'm not biting on that.
You don't know, though. You don't know what's going to happen.
I know that if I continue in the way that I am, I will not end up a criminal.
I think the worst thing we can do is to be certain about our future.
I am certain about mine. I don't see a problem in that.
I don't. Well, certain how, like what you're gonna be. That's great. That's faith and that's hope.
It's a belief. Yeah. But
it's not certainty.
It's not certain because it hasn't happened yet. But in my mind, I know. I feel like that's what it takes. Like you have to believe it,
truly.
Truly believe it.
But you can't count on it. And that's the wrong way to look at it. But you can't they can't really be your one true thought process. Not to say, because I don't want to fall into the trap of saying you need something to fall back on, because I hate that, but
that's my least favorite phrase in the English language.
Fall back
besides that's lit or some shit like that.
Denzel would agree with you. I don't know if you've seen his speech at some college. I don't know. But
he says that's lit?
No, he says I hated the idea of falling back. Fall forward.
Oh, so you were quoting him earlier.
Yeah, okay. All right, copyright.
Yeah.
MLA citation
plagiarism here going on.
There we go.
But yeah, you cannot, and many people, especially actors, it's always, you hear this from actors all the time, but it's always, you can't have a plan B. And really, you have to believe that plan A is going to work, because once you start thinking about plan B.
I think that's where you're missing. You don't believe that it's going to work. It's that you put your entirety of your entire self into that one thing, with the hope that it works truly, but you've put everything into that rather than grasping onto this little branching off a small piece of yourself to plan B.
But it takes everything.
Exactly. No, I don't disagree there.
I'm not going to have any room left to be doing plan B.
No, I feel like you're misinterpreting what I'm saying, but it's just, you put everything onto plan A.
Yeah.
And the mistake is that branching a small part of yourself onto plan B, but you're still not certain on plan A, but doesn't change the fact that you're putting everything onto it.
So what are you putting on plan B then?
Nothing.
On A? So does it...
But you're not certain about plan A. You're not certain that it's going to work. but you have everything on there, because what's the purpose of holding yourself back on something that, again, might not even work? The Jim Carrey
plan
quote.
B isn't guaranteed either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey said his father was a great comedian, and something about whatever, and then he failed at his mediocre job. Plan B did not pan out.
Yeah.
Nothing is certain.
That's exact. So, like, who says Plan B will work out? I mean, my Plan B hypothetically would be something very, very achievable. Not like where it would be a bad life, but it would be achievable. It would be like, I'm broke, I am done, I'm doing this. I'm going back to school and I'm going to become a teacher or something.
Yeah. Even that's not achievable all the time.
That's true. And I'm not saying it's easy. And you know how I feel about teachers.
No,
the
I completely agree
Jesus
with what
Christ.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it's much easier, I think, just in terms of getting a job, obviously, than making it in the entertainment industry.
Right. No, I agree. And I'm just saying, and I fully agree with you. You put everything onto your Plan A, but it doesn't make it certain.
It doesn't, but I can't, like, that's
fine. That's what I'm just saying.
Certain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Yeah.
But I know it's like this weird thing I've always had that I know if I'm putting in enough, if I'm expending myself to as much as I can go, something will happen. And I've done, like, when I've believed, when I've had that feeling, things have worked out.
Right. Yeah, and this is going to get way too deep into it, but part of it is not even focusing on the end goal, but you're putting your all into it, and that alone, knowing that it may not work out, but knowing that right now you're happy giving it everything, that's fulfillment in itself.
Oh, 100%.
Because for the longest time, I was like, as a kid, I was like, I'm gonna be an MLB player, and I truly believe that. I could picture it in my mind. I could picture myself at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
That's not fucking happening. That's not happening at all. And I know that, and I'm fine with that, but I don't regret putting myself entirely into that focus.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I used to want to play in the NFL.
Right.
Look at me now.
That's what, like, I'm comfortable with change, but I'm also comfortable. I'm not saying I'm comfortable, but I think it's ideal to be comfortable with change and be comfortable giving everything you have to something that might not pan out.
Or it changes for the better.
Yeah.
But for right now, I'm giving it my all into what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that could change.
That.
Yeah. That could change. Yeah. I mean, really, I'm putting it in my all to 2 things. 3, really, if you break it down. So it's all relatively similar.
It is.
Yeah.
You're putting your all into yourself.
Into creativity at the end of the day.
I think you're putting it all into yourself, and yourself is creativity.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
And that's the best we can bet on ourselves, and that's all we can do.
Believing in yourself, yeah.
Believe in yourself, guys.
We always come back to corny cliches.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's been another great episode. Sorry, I never close it out. I don't know how.
Do you want to close it out? Give it a try.
I don't know how to close it.
Usually just say, it's been a good episode. Follow us.
What episode is it?
It doesn't matter. They don't even know.
It's episode 932. It's been another great one on Podcast Unscripted. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Where do they follow us? What's the handle?
@Podcast Unscripted.